Welcome to my channel with Autodesk Maya. This is lesson 8, and we'll be learning how to create a cloth type fabric using VFX and more specifically something called nCloth using the physics installed within Autodesk Maya. Now that we have our models, what we're going to do is create something extra, maybe a table and a tablecloth, and the dynamics of a cloth that you can create using Maya. Now what we want to do first is actually go to our side view and let's align it so that when we have our desk, it sits right above the desk. Right there. And this is about the same grid. Now let's go to create just a small, simple block. Let's go to our side view, make sure it actually fits. Let's make it a bit bigger. Now if we want to change this pivot point so that it's more clearer, press D, move this pivot point up, press D again to confirm it, and now we can just zoom in and use this table. Let's leave a bit of a gap so that our cloth has space in between the table and the wine bottles. Now what we want to do is create something that the cloth will fall on. So this table is here. Let's actually get rid of this grid. There you go. And you'll want to create a polygon plane. This will be our cloth. Let's increase this to around here. Let's put it in the middle. And you want to raise it a bit above the table. Not too much. You can if you want to, but it's easier if you just lift it up a tiny bit. Let's make it a tiny bit bigger. There you go. And now what we want to do is add faces. Now an easy way to do this is either go to your inputs and change your faces like manually or written down. What I like to do is when you're in modeling, you go to edit mesh and add divisions. And all you have to do is times it by 3 or 4. Let's do 4. Press enter, and it multiplies the faces for you. So the more faces, the more divisions that you have, the slower your computer is going to run because it has more calculations to run. All right. Now what we want to do is, instead of modeling, we'll go to our FX, and we'll go to nCloth. Click nCloth while you have your plane selected and create nCloth. That's it. And now all you have to do is click on the object that it's hitting. In this case, it's the table. Go to nCloth and create passive collider. That means this cloth will collide with this. And as you can see, this red bar is going and increasing. That's Maya running its calculations through the animations. And you'll see that in a second. Have your bar wherever you want it. This is the animation slider, like I said before. 2270, and we can just increase this or decrease this. Let's decrease it right now because it will run its calculations. Once you see the calculations are done, when it's reached to the end of the slider, just click play. That's it. Now, if you want it to run for a longer time, you can. It'll run the calculations. Right now, I think this is a good place to stop. The cloth looks nice the way it's leaning over. Now what we want to do is we want to have this frame. You click the object, alright, press W to move it, and Control D to duplicate it. So we have a duplicated object, but this does not have any animation to it. This does. So if you can see, if we run the animation, this doesn't change. What we want to do is just delete this plane, delete all the rigid, that's the calculations that it runs to create the animation, and just put this over the table. There you go. So what we want to do is actually add a bit of thickness to this cloth. So what we do is click this, go to our modeling toolkit, and let's click extrude. And we want the thickness to be 0.03. There you go. That's a solid cloth. And now all you have to do is we have our faces here. Now when you create a cloth like this, there are buttons where it changes based on the smoothness. This is not considered smooth. All you have to do is click 3 on your computer. If this comes up, it's because it has a lot of squares. You just say yes, and I'll smooth it out for you. There you go. It's automatically smooth. There's no hard surfaces. Now, you can do the same smoothness on any other object. If you have a square, for example, there are 3 buttons that changes this. There's number 1, which is its solid state. Number 2, which smooths the object out, but you can still see the original bounding box. And number 3 is viewed without the bounding box. So now you have a smooth square, essentially, which is essentially a circle. So number 3 is to completely smooth it out. Number 2 is to smooth it out, but have the original wireframe. And number 1 is its original shape without any smoothness. Now that we have this, we want to save this. And let's render this to see how it looks. Render view, perspective. And there you go. Now all we want to do next is actually shade the square and the cloth. And what we'll be using is actually a software called Substance Painter. Now you can do your casual coloring within Maya. Just add a favorite material, standard surface, and let's go to standard surface and just change the color from here. But what I'll be showing is the use of AI Substance Painter, and it is a very, very helpful tool that has amazing presets, and we'll get to that in the next lesson.